All right, let's take a look at commodities now. Corn prices took a nosedive today, falling by the biggest amount allowed by the Chicago Board of Trade. Fueling the drop was a government report showing farmers planted an unexpectedly large crop of corn this year. Jason Britt joins us now from Kansas City. He's president of Central States Commodities. And joining us from Chicago is Bloomberg Commodities reporter Tony Drybus. Gentlemen, thanks for coming to the show. Tony, let me start with you. Why did farmers plant so much more corn than expected? I thought soy was going to be the hot crop this year.
Well, yeah, they planted, USDA expects them to plant 87 million acres with corn this year. That's actually more than analysts estimated, an analyst estimate of 85.2 million acres. Soybean plantings were at 77.5 million acres, which is actually down from what analysts expected. Spring wheat acres also were higher than expected by about 800,000 acres. And the reason is if you look from January 1 through the end of May, the price of those commodities were actually up. Corn prices rose about 7.2% in the year through May. Soybean prices were up 21% in the year through May. And wheat prices gained about 4% through from January 1st through May 31st. So there was some incentive for farmers to plant those extra acres.
All right, so Jason, tell us what the market reacts to this, or how the market reacts to this. I mean, if we did see the price rising of corn, it seems like it should be expected. On the other hand, soy rose as well, actually 3 times the pace.
Right. Yeah, the corn market obviously had a very bearish reaction to it today. I mean, we really caught the trade leaning going into this report. You know, not, I wouldn't say friendly, but we were expecting a decline in acreage, like Tony said. And instead, we had a 2 million increase from the March 31st planting intentions report. So with a number like that, a limit down move is not surprising. You know, I wouldn't be surprised to see a couple days to probably straighten out on this thing. Another thing that's probably weighing on prices, your crop ratings that the USDA gave us yesterday. It's showing the crop at 72% good to excellent. And with crop ratings like that, it's probably going to weigh on prices a little further. I wouldn't be surprised.
Although the crop comes in bad, I mean, doesn't that mean there's a limited supply and you might want to buy?
Oh, absolutely, and that's what I was telling customers today. I said it's June 30th. It is it's a long growing season, and we can't put it in the bin just yet. Get another 3 or 4 weeks behind us on this, and then maybe at that point in time we could see prices under a little bit more pressure. But with this much time left in the growing season, obviously yield is the biggest determinant on where we're going to come in production-wise. So there's still time to have recovery rallies from where we close today.
Hey Tony, what is the supply-demand equation been looking like?
Well, right now, all eyes are going to be on those crop progress reports out of U.S. Department of Agriculture on Monday afternoons. Sources told me today that they expect everybody to be watching how the crop progresses from here until the end of the growing season, as Jason said. Really, the weather between now and then is a determining factor. Also, Jason, you may be able to speak to this a little bit. The late planted crop, because of the wet weather early in the spring, may have an effect as if we get later in the season, there's risk of freeze, there's risk of adverse weather that might hurt that.
Right, and absolutely, because we're running behind, it's going to put your pollination at a more critical time frame. If the crop was ahead, a lot of times before we get into the real heat of the summer, you've already pollinated. This year, they used to say knee-high by the 4th of July. The last few years, it's been tasseling by the 4th of July. This year, it's probably back to more than knee-high at the 4th of July, which puts your pollination a lot more at risk. So weather is still, going to be the determining factor. I mean, these numbers were bearish today that we had, but still going forward, the final decision maker is obviously going to be the weather.
Let me just ask, since we like to get evidence from people actually out in the field. Your family runs a farm. Are you seeing similar trends, and are you getting close to knee-high since the 4th of July is approaching quickly?
Yeah, we were running behind. I mean, Missouri, we were, especially up through our area, we were, most definitely wetter. Now, the western Corn Belt, the guys that I talked through Nebraska, Iowa, crops look good, through our area. Missouri is a little bit rougher. I know the Eastern Corn Belt, the customers that we had through Illinois, it's pretty rough. So we would be closer in that knee high. I mean, it's, the heat, what we've had over the last, 7 to 10 days is really what we needed to try to accelerate the crop along and get the growth going.
Got it. All right. Hey, Jason, thanks for joining us. Jason Britt there, president of Central States Commodities, and our thanks to Tony Drybus, our commodities reporter in Chicago as well.